And welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another testing video, and I know I've done so many Makeup Revolution testing videos recently, and no, my channel isn't centered around Makeup Revolution, it's centered around drugstore. It just so happens that Makeup Revolution have been bringing out quite a few new products that I wanted to review and test for you, and one of these is also probably one of the most exciting launches this year. So today I'm going to be testing the new Revolution Pro collection, and basically they have these new gold packaged items. They have eyeshadow palettes, they've got lipsticks, they've got a highlighter palette, we have a powder, we also have a primer serum as well, and a lipstick, and also a brow pencil. So there's quite a few new products that I've all purchased. Just a disclaimer, with my own money, none of this was gifted. So I'm going to be testing it on my face today, giving you my first impressions, telling you how I feel about the product. Yeah, basically I'm just gonna roll onto the video and put this products on my face. I know I've pretty much said this every video recently, but I really am sorry for my lack of uploads. Basically, I'm coming right to the end of my apprenticeship. I've only got a couple of weeks left, and then I'm sorting out my degree, getting a new job, all that delally adult stuff. I'm looking at moving to Manchester, so I'm looking at flats and yeah, moving out. So basically my life is completely hectic, so that's why I basically haven't uploaded. Please, please, please let me off all that jazz and all that jazz. Okay, so first up I'm gonna test the new neutral Luxe shadow palette. This is actually one that I have been most excited for because this, my friends, is a Huda Beauty dupe for the new neutral palette. You'll see when I open up the packaging. By the way, all the packaging of this new collection is pretty much the same. It's all like gold packaging. And then when you open it up, this is what the palette looks like. So it just comes in this like animal print sort of packaging. It's retailed at £12. This is quite pricey for a Makeup Revolution product, but this is their Pro range. So the quality of their Pro range I found is actually marginally better than the Makeup Revolution, but Makeup Revolution still do banging products. When you open it up, this is what the palette looks like. Can you see why I was saying this is basically a Huda Beauty dupe? Like, look at that. The Huda Beauty one, off the top of my head, retails at like £43. It might actually be £49. It's near enough £50. It's expensive. And this one is only £12, so it's a pretty good dupe. I'll actually put a picture next to this one of what the Huda Beauty one looks like, so you can compare the two. As you can see, this is what the palette looks like up close. So there's some crushed shimmers in there. There's shimmers, there's mattes. It's a very neutral palette, which I'm not really into neutral palettes, but we're going to give it a go today. Normally I'm into colourful shadows, but so for £12 you get 18 shades, which is absolutely incredible. Quick maths, less than £1 a shade. I want to try to keep to the full branding today. I think the only thing that I won't have is contour slash bronzer and foundation, so I think the rest I'm going to keep it to a full face. When it comes to doing my eyeshadow base, I'm going to use the new Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer. This is the shade 0.1, and this is the new concealer that they brought out from this exact collection. Obviously I'm going to use it as my normal everyday concealer, but I like to use a base to put down for the shadow to stick to. Normally I would use a P. Louise base, and normally I always say that I would use a P. Louise base with my eyeshadow because I know that it performs well. However, I'm going to give this one a try today. It says it contains hyaluronic acid, collagen, antitoxins, and peptides. So I take it it's all good. I don't really know. It's a waterproof concealer as well. Waterproof and crease proof. I need that because my concealer always creases. This is what the concealer looks like. So the packaging is actually really nice. It all comes in this like gold sort of packaging. So it comes in a squirty tube, which I'm not exactly the biggest fan of because I don't really like squirty tube concealers. I prefer one with like a doe foot applicator. But so I'm going to use my Spectrum A18 brush, which I usually use. I'm just going to pop a bit of this at the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to apply it all over my lid. Oh, that seems like it's quite good coverage. And then I'm just going to use my Colourpop E11 brush just to carve around the bottom of my eyebrows. Okay, so I quite like how that concealer applied. I would say that it has a very, very thick formula and it does go very, very tacky. So when I'm like applying it, it kind of like my brush sticks down. I mean, it's not exactly a bad thing, but because it's such a thick formula. I'm not really used to it. But so far, it is actually crease proof. Like, my eyelids haven't creased, and normally by now, even with the P. Louise base, they kind of crease over. So as an eyeshadow base, it's actually not that bad. It being tacky is probably a good thing, because obviously you kind of need a tacky base when it comes to having something for the shadow to stick to. Okay, so I'm now going to dip into the new neutral palette. I'm going to take this maroon sort of shade up here. This is the shade Zoned, and I'm just gonna pack this in my crease. I'm using the Spectrum A12 brush from the Disney collection. Do you know what? I'm gonna do a winged out look, so I'm gonna put some good old sellotape down and look like a complete idiot. But it's fine, because if you know this technique, you know that I'm not just sticking sellotape to my face for the sake of it. Good stuff. Now I can continue to apply. Okay, quite pigmented. We like that, we like that. Definitely building up really nicely as well. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see better as well. I do this every video. Okay, so I know that shadow looks really messy, but it's going to, because I will come back to it and keep building it up and stuff, so it won't look too bad. Next up, I'm going to go in with this shade down here. This is the shade Whisper, and I'm just going to run that on top of Zoned. Okay, so I haven't even gone in with the blending brush on that side, and they've just blended really nicely together even without. So that makes my life 10 times easier, basically. Just gonna keep packing into Zoned as well. That concealer has actually worked really well as an eyeshadow base, and normally I stick to my P. Louise base like nothing else exists, but may have a little bit of competition. I want to add a little bit of purple in there, but I want to keep Zoned as the main colour, so I'm just going to take a small detail brush. This is the Strikeout brush from the Beauty Bay EYN collection, and I'm just going to dip into a little bit of Majestic, which is this purple one here, and I'm just going to put that near where we popped Zoned. I'm also just going to take Majestic on a Spectrum B06 brush and just pop it on my outer corner. Before I move any further and put a shimmer on my lid, I'm just going to take my Spectrum B06 brush, this is the marble one, and I'm just going to go along and blend out the edges. Normally I like to wing it out quite a bit as well. I just like quite a big wing. I just like being that little extra bit extra. Moving on, I'm going to dip into one of the Crush shimmers. So I'm going to take this one here, which is the shade Golden, and I'm just gonna pack that on my lid. Oh my gosh. Oh, this palette has actually performed really well. Like, I don't have the original Huda nude one, but I don't feel like I need it after having this one. I've got like crushed glitter all over my fingers now, but it's fine because that was just so pretty. These bits of sellotape off because I don't need these anymore. Oh, our wonderful world of what Makeup Revolution have come up with next. I'm gonna move on to the Define and Fill Brow Pencil. This is the Precision Microblade Effect for fuller brows. I'm not normally a fan of brow pencils. I just prefer pomades. Like, my Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade is the only thing I use on my eyebrows now. I feel like I've kind of like found the way which works for my brows and pencils aren't. But nevertheless, I thought I'd give it a purchase, give it a try, show you what it's like. This is in the shade Dark Brown, which I believe is the darkest shade they had. As you can see, this is what the packaging looks like. It's retailed at £8. Oh, that's quite a good spoolie actually. It's quite a heavy brow pencil though. I think it's because these gold things on the end are actually quite heavy. Yeah, when you take the gold thing off, it's definitely a lot lighter. Okay, so that dark brown's pretty much black. That's a good sign. Okay, so considering the fact that I'm not normally a fan of brow pencils, that actually didn't work that bad. I don't know if I'd use it all the time, but maybe for the front of my brow, it did definitely give like a microbladed effect. Like, I actually do quite like that. Overall, that actually didn't work that badly. Like, I do quite like that. For £8, it's definitely good. I think the spoolie end of it to like brush out my eyebrows I think that worked like really well. It was a good like sturdy spoolie, do you know what I mean? The packaging was really pretty, but like I said, I'm really not like a pencil kind of girl, but it was pigmented. I would say your eyebrows would have to be like pretty much black, like as dark as mine, to get away with the shade dark brown, because even this shade I would say is a little bit too dark for my eyebrows, especially when it comes to filling in the front of my brows. But it was definitely pigmented. It did give like the microblading effect that it said it did, so overall I was happy with that product. Next up, I'm going to move on to another product that I was really excited about. I feel like I'm going to say this, but like when I realised that they were coming out with this collection, this was one of the things that I was really excited about. So next up, I'm going to try the Goddess Glow Primer. I think they also have got a matte version of this primer. However, I have normal to dry skin. When it gets to winter, it's normally drier, so a dewier look looks better on me than a full matte look. I'm going to use the Radiance Primer serum. It says, unveil your natural glow. Gives your skin an instant boost due to the dewy highlighting effect it provides. I love a good dewy primer. Ooh, this packaging of this looks really nice. Ooh, okay, so this is what the bottle looks like. It comes with this gold lid, which I think by now we've all realised is pretty much the whole Revolution Pro sort of collection for this one. And it actually looks quite dark, which is why I'm hoping that when you put it on, it kind of like gives you like a glowy sort of like golden effect rather than being really dark. But we'll give it a try anyway. Please don't be dark. And it comes with a pump. Pump it, move it, work it. So I'm just gonna pump a little bit on my finger. It's coming. I don't know whether to like rub it in with my finger or a brush. I'm just gonna rub it in with my fingers, why not? Oh, thank goodness. It blends out. It doesn't stay orange. We're fine. I didn't think it would. Like, it shouldn't do, really. But you never know, do you? Because some brands just assume that everyone is, you know, naturally tanned, and I wish I was, but I'm not. Like, my fingers are definitely glowy, so it must have done something. Like, it must have given me some sort of glowy tint, which it does look like it does, especially my cheeks here. Like, I just think that it's not like a major glow fest, but it's just like a nice glow fest. It has dried down, so it's not tacky, which normally I like my primers to be a little bit more tacky, so I've got something for my foundation to stick to. But it's not the end of the world. We'll apply foundation over it and see how it goes. So for this, I know this is a high-end product. Obviously, you can use whatever foundation you want, but I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, only because it's quite a dewy, glowy foundation. So there's no point in me using more of like a matte finish foundation when I've got a glowy primer underneath. So I'm going to use Born This Way in the shade Snow. I'm not talking about Too Faced in this video, but the finish of this foundation is really nice, and it's got really good coverage as well. So next I'm going to go back in with the concealer. I'm not going to go over this again because I went over this when I primed my eyelids with it, but obviously we're using it for something a little bit different. I've just realised, like, how am I gonna, I'm just gonna have to like spray it, like squirt on my face, aren't I? Do you reckon dots will work? Or am I just completely messing this up? I mean, it's good coverage, it's a nice colour, but like I said, I don't know if... It actually hurts when I blend it in because it's that tacky. I would say this is the only probable item in this that I didn't like. Probably wouldn't repurchase this. Maybe I'd actually repurchase it as an eyeshadow primer. I think it works better than that. For that than an actual concealer. Moving swiftly on from that, I'm going to move on to the translucent pressed powder and set this all in place. This is the matte satin finish powder. I do also think that they have a fully matte version of this as well, but once again, would not work for my skin. This is actually giving me like Milani vibes with this. I don't know, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a dupe. By the way, for my powder, I use my A04 brush by Spectrum, and it's got hair on it. Girl, you're gonna need to set this in place because it's tacky AF. I don't want to put a lot on because I don't want to take it away from the dewiness. Normally I use my Kiko dewy powder. However, that set everything in place really fast. Like, I haven't even put that much powder on, but it's just kind of set everything in place really nicely. It works, it did its job. That's all that matters, really. That's all that we asked for. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to take this one here that I haven't actually used yet. This is the shade Karma. And then for my inner corners, I think I'm going to take this one here because it just seems like a really pretty shade. I was going to take this one, but I like the purple tint in this one. So I'm going to take the shade Magic and I'm just going to pop that in my inner corners. I was worried I was going to regret that one, but I actually quite like that. Bronze up my face, I'm going to use my new favourite face palette. So I'm going to use the Revolution X Roxy palette and I'm just going to take this bronzer shade here. Because obviously there isn't a bronzer in this collection. I don't think there is anyway. Unless I've completely just missed that. But either way, I don't have it, so I'm going to have to just bronze up with what I've got. Good palette this, by the way. You know when I said I liked it? I really do. Like, I haven't used my Wet n Wild bronzer since I purchased this and did my video on it. Next up, I'm going to move on to one of the new little like highlighter duos. I'm pretty sure this was £8, which to me is quite pricey, especially for Makeup Revolution. It comes with 2 highlighters. Basically, I'm obviously not going to get away with one of these. This one is clearly way too dark for my skin tone, so I'm going to be using this one as my highlighter for today. I mean, they both look like absolutely stunning shades, and I will swatch both of them just so you can like have a gander of what both of them swatch like. Okay, so firstly I'm going to give this one a swatch here. I would say this was like, could possibly use that one as a bronzer shade. And then next up I'm just going to swatch this one here. They actually seem quite powdery actually. Yeah, they are quite chalky and quite powdery. I do find some of the Makeup Revolution highlighters are like that, but it's not the end of the world because sometimes they don't come out like that on your face. I'm going to take my Morphe highlighting brush for this and I'm just going to dip into this one here. Oh wow. That is really... Woo! I think I don't need Ofra in Pillow Talk anymore. Because I have that. Like, this reminds me so much of my Ofra one, like just the way it glows. Ooh, that's really nice. No, it didn't come across chalky on the face. I know it did on the swatches, which would sometimes put people off. However, I must admit that looks really nice on the face. As well, highlight my brow bone while I'm at it. Why not, ladies? Highlight your life. Highlight it up, you might as well. Ooh. I kind of expected like high things from Makeup Revolution anyway because their highlighters are insane for the price. But this is what it looks like. I mean, £8 for just one highlighter that I'm going to use is a little bit pricey for Revolution. But I got a hair on my chin. Finally, I'm going to go in with one of the new lipsticks. Quite a few people have been talking about these lipsticks and I kind of needed to give them a try. This is the new Neutral Satin Matte Lipstick. This is in the shade Vamp, so I got like a dark red sort of colour, which really excites me because I don't have like a dark red shade like this ever since I went cruelty free and got rid of my MAC one. They have like a couple of nude shades as well in this collection, which really did excite me. I was gonna get a nude shade, but you know what? I thought, it's fine. Give the people what they want. Be a bit different. This is basically a square style lipstick. It does also have the leopard print on it, just like the rest of this collection. This is what it looks like. That looks really nice. Should we give it a little swatch? Let's... Look at how well that's swatched. I'm looking at it in my mirror down here and I'm like, oh, let's give it a little apply. Let's see what it applies like. I'm gonna take my like new mini powder mirror. Ooh, okay, so that glided on really nicely. Why did I ever start wearing dark red lipstick? Wow. Okay, so I can feel it's got like a little bit of a matte feel to it, which I'm not the happiest about. I know it's like a satin matte lipstick. I'm just not a fan of matte lipsticks. They just go really, really drying on me. However, I feel like this is the sort of lipstick that, you know, when you can feel it and I feel like it's gonna dry down matte and kind of last all day, which is a good thing, especially if you're wearing a red lipstick. And it was pigmented, like obviously it was a dark red, so you have to like keep getting over to get the pigment that you want. Nevertheless, that is a nice colour. I don't want to do that pouty face and be like, but I've just done that pouty face. Okay, so that was my full review on the new Revolution Pro collection. We'll leave all the links down below for all the products that I use. I am actually happy with how this look came out. I was really impressed with some of the products and I want to know what your favourite products were. So let me know down below what you thought of these products, if there's anything that you want to purchase yourself, if there's anything that intrigued you a little bit. As always, thank you so incredibly much for watching. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, then don't forget to smash smash it a big massive thumbs up, and also feel free to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you do also tap that bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new testing video, a little bit like this one. Also, a cheeky little plug, I do also have an Instagram page where I post looks that I don't necessarily do here on my YouTube channel, so if you want to follow me there, I'll leave it either here or here. I can never ever for the life of me find out which side it's on, so I just kind of hope for the best. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Bye!